The other day I got what has to be, if not the weirdest, one of the weirdest emails that I've ever gotten from somebody. It was from a guy, and I won't say his name, but he basically was asking me if I could help him with something. And the thing that he was asking for was for me to help him because he has been trying to block my YouTube channel from his feed, and yet YouTube keeps suggesting my videos to him, and he needed me to help him fully block me from his site. And I really thought about it. I really spent some time trying to figure out how I could help this guy to never see me again. Because for those who don't know, that's totally out of my control. I mean, he was probably getting suggestions for my videos because he watches content that's similar to the kind of content that I produce. And that's all a YouTube thing. I have no control over that. And what's funny is, you know, YouTubers are always trying to find ways to get YouTube to suggest their videos more. That's how you grow your channel. It's like this vital thing that you're always working on. And here I was confronted with the challenge of how do I go against, how do I do the reverse of that? How do I tell this guy to get rid of me? And what's funny is, like, you know, you can find all kinds of advice out there on how to make your channel more suggestible for YouTube. There's not a lot that tell you how to make it less suggestible or how to completely block it from somebody. I had actually thought about it for a while before it occurred to me to be offended by the fact that this person apparently hates me in my face so much that he's actually reaching out and asking me to help him to make it so that he never has to even know that I exist again. Which, I mean, you know, hey, respect, right? You know, it's a rare thing for somebody to really know what they want out of life. So yeah, usually somebody has to date me before they never want to see me again. But anyway, that was weird. So I've had a lot of people asking since I did that video about my my kidney stone issue, how that's coming along. I'm happy to say it seems to have passed. I will spare all the horrible details. You don't need to know them, but suffice to say, I'm feeling better. I'm back to pretty much 100%. I wasn't really able to work out for a few weeks there, and I was already really falling behind in staying in shape and doing the exercise and stuff because of COVID and not being able to, like, work with a trainer like I was for the last year, and finally starting to make some progress. And then COVID, and then kidney stone. I tried to get back into it yesterday, and literally after 10 minutes, I couldn't catch my breath and I had to stop. So it's baby steps getting back in, I guess. I need to work on it. But yeah, I still am trying to get in to see a urologist. I got a referral from my primary care doctor to see a urologist. There has been this back and forth for 2.5 weeks now between those two offices trying to get my insurance approval to them. And now the insurance has actually sent me the approval. I've got it right here in my hand, and I still can't seem to get them to set up an appointment. I called yesterday. I'm going to have to call them again when I get done recording this. And I'm sorry, I always hear Americans, whenever you start talking about doing some kind of single payer system, they always say that the wait times are terrible. Well, I've waited 2.5 weeks with a kidney stone and still can't get in to even make an appointment with a urologist because of insurance BS. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm actually insured. I spend $500 a month for this, and I still can't get in to even make an appointment. And I'm also fully aware that $500 a month is actually not that bad considering my age and everything. A lot of people with you know, worse health conditions than I have pay way more. And I really don't even know how. Anyway, not trying to go down that whole anger hole, but super frustrating. So Monday's video I uploaded as an audio version to my podcast. Many of you may not even know that I have a podcast, but I do. I mean, outside of it, there's Our Ludicrous Future that I do with Ben and Tim, obviously, but I have an Answers with Joe podcast that's just kind of been sitting out there for a long time. I think back in maybe 2018, I was putting some effort into it and you know, recording interviews with people and putting it up there. But it's really just kind of been sitting there for a while. Whenever I do a long form interview, I usually upload it there because it seems like podcast content. But I've gotten a lot of recommendations or people asking if I would just upload the audio only version to the podcast, I guess, because a lot of people, you know, the only time they have to really catch up on my channel is when they're driving, and obviously video when you're driving is not the best idea. But I figured like Monday would be a good one to start with because it's kind of teeing up the interview that I did with Dr. Becky, which I will be releasing on Thursday, both on YouTube and on the podcast in normal audio version. But I think I'm going to start trying to make that part of just sort of my workflow, is doing just exporting an MP3 and uploading that to the podcast version. I don't know how well it's going to work for a lot of videos because some of them are more visual and I have to refer to things that you're seeing, especially the one that I just recorded for next Monday. That's going to be a very challenging one for somebody to just listen to, I think. But like I said, there's been a lot of people requesting it, and I figured, why not? It's not that much time out of my day to. I just burped. I just burped right in the middle of talking. Anyway, yeah, it's not that much time out of my day to upload those, and if people can use them, if it's helpful to them, why not? And I really would like to do more interviews. I go back and forth, to be honest. Like, I didn't really start this channel to do interviews necessarily. I really, if I had my druthers, which is something we say here in Texas, I would be focusing more on like narrative stuff and short films and long form, narrative content and stuff. That's still something that I really want to be doing. But what I find myself in this situation where, like, I guess I've grown the channel to the point where I could really. There's a lot of really interesting and smart people out there, and I would want to just meet them, like Dr. Becky, the conversation that we had was awesome. It was really cool. And she's like 1,000 times smarter than me. So it's always cool to just, I hear a lot of people say that they would like to just have a beer with me and just talk about stuff. Well, I feel like that about people like Dr. Becky and a lot of other YouTubers that I definitely think are way smarter than me, and I would love to pick their brain on things that I feel like I understand, but it would be really good to have somebody who really knows what they're talking about. So I'm hoping to do some more of those. Although again, that's not really where I want things to go career-wise. It's just I have the opportunity to meet some really cool people, and I think I'll regret it if I don't take advantage of that. Last but not least, this is kind of a hodgepodge of a check-in, but I had talked previously about the new Bill and Ted movie. Again, really weird. I did a video where I shared some clips and just kind of talked about it while I was talking about other things. And then I did a video that was all about just breaking down the trailer. And for some reason, the one that just kind of tangentially talked about it got demonetized, but the other one didn't. I don't get it. But anyway, new Bill and Ted trailer came out. They have a release date of September 1st. It's actually going to be released they call it premium VOD, so I don't know exactly which platforms that is. I'm assuming like Apple and Google Play and maybe, I don't know, maybe Amazon Prime. Anyway, but they're doing a simultaneous release both in the theaters and at home. Theaters obviously are at minimal capacity, depending on where you are. Some places might not even be open, but they're doing it both at the same time thing, which is, I mean, it's not the first time it's been done, but you could say it might be sort of the way of the future. I definitely will be watching it, and I'll be watching it from home. Although I will say, I feel like there's going to be a lot of fan service in this movie, and it would be really fun to watch it in a theater full of people and like share that with other Bill and Ted fans. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I'll watch it from home. I would rather be safe over it. But yeah, I've been weirdly emotional about this movie. I mean, I've made no secret of the fact that I was a fan going way back when, and there is a whole nostalgia thing about something that when I was a kid is now back, and it's like that's fun and everything. But I don't know, man. Like watching the trailer, and I won't share the clip because I don't want to get screwed, but there's a shot where Keanu as Ted says, we've been trying our whole lives to make this song, and I'm tired, dude. And hearing him say I'm tired is heartbreaking. It's just like, oh God, I can't stand it. I feel like I have this weird, it's like the characters kind of grew up with me. I saw them when I was a teenager, and they were teenagers in those movies. And now they're, adults in their 40s, and I'm an adult in my 40s. And it feels like they've taken a similar, I don't know, path in life. Like these guys, I'm kind of fascinated by the story that they may be trying to tell here, which is that they they had these two adventures, and they probably formed this band, and they were told that they had this destiny and they were going to save the world and everything. And then it didn't work out for them. And here they are in their 40s, and they're still trying to make this happen, and they're becoming more and more disillusioned by it. And I don't know how, this is a very weird thing to say, but like when I was a kid, I felt like I had this like great destiny. I really felt like I was going to be like an EGOT. I was going to be an Oscar winner, and like just I really thought I was destined for greatness. And that might just be because of the fact that I was a medium-sized fish in a very small pond. I kind of got a big head on myself or something. I don't know. But like I really felt like I was going to do great things, and many of you might love my channel enough to say that I'm doing that right now. That is very nice. And I like that thought, but I do feel like I'm a guy in my 40s still trying to make that thing happen. So there's this part of me that just connects with that when I watch that trailer, and I feel it, So the trailer dropped, and that was fun. But then also they did, San Diego Comicon, which was all virtual this year because of COVID. They did a panel, basically a Zoom chat, but it was a panel with the writers and the director, Keanu and Alex, and the girls that play their daughters. Samara is one. I don't really know their names, sorry. But anyway, it was hosted by Kevin Smith, and I had to write down what he said at the beginning of this thing, because he got to see it, obviously. And he said, it's always kind of weird when you get asked to, do panels like this, because you never know if you're actually going to like the movie. And if you don't like it, how are you going to, handle this thing and be honest and everything. But this is what he said. He said, "This was a comedy. It was a wonderful movie." I'm reading it. "But I cannot tell you how emotional this was for me. The last half hour of the movie, I am bawling. This movie is adorable. It is to be adored. It makes one feel warm in these hopeless times. It's fun, and it takes you on a time machine journey in and of itself as we revisit eras that we've been to in the past. Seeing George pop up for a moment was like everything. Everything about this was a perfect viewing experience." I'm like really excited about this movie now. And it's not even, I don't even care if it's good, to be honest with you. It might be dog crap. I mean, I love Bogus Journey, but the ending of it was a total train wreck. This might not be a great movie, but I'm just happy that there's something that I love back in the world, and I want as much of it as possible. And I don't care about spoilers. I don't have to like see it all. It didn't have to be like this whole moment as I watch it. I am just taking as much of this in as I can. And I feel like the world needs this right now. Bill and Ted was supposed to be, the mythos of Bill and Ted is that they bring the world together, and here we are at like the most divisive time ever. I think the world needs Bill and Ted right now. Anyway, I'm excited about it. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. That's it for now. I'll wrap things up. I'll catch you guys next time. Love you. Have a good one.